everyone. I'm here today with Linda Lalande, and Linda is a certified health and life coach. She's a Vancouverite for 30 years, 25 of which she's been a registered massage therapist. So this has been a bit of a transition for you, it looks like. So Linda, tell us a bit more about what your role as a coach is and what sort of training you've had.
Yes, so I've been a coach since 2017. So I decided to go back to school. I don't know if you want to know the background, what led me there or whatever. But yeah, so I guess about 8 years ago, that's when kind of my health journey kind of expanded. In grade 3, my son was he was in school and the teachers were saying oh, maybe he can't focus. So would you be willing to try medication? And it's no. First of all, we didn't know what was going on. And then until we did an assessment, it's well, what can I do in my power right now to try to help him? And so that's how it kind of all started to learn a lot about more health alternative things. But I started with diet, as simple as diet. And yeah, and then after, telling my struggles with some people, they say, oh, you should read this book. So then I read a book called The Brain That Changes Itself. And then it all started. And after that, I was just wow, there's so much to learn. And I kept going. And then also 5 years ago, I experienced a shoulder injury. And as much as I love massage therapy and I still love it today, I was thinking, wow, maybe I won't be able to do this forever, because my shoulder injury lasted for 2 years. And then I just really have to think, what could I do, right? And at that time, I couldn't even find something that was of interest to me. And that being, my own self-employed for 25 years, I couldn't see myself going back working in an office. And I wanted to maintain my lifestyle that I had. And coaching kind of appeared to me I was reading some information and I saw someone that I really like, and she was a life coach. And I decided to put it on Google and see what it was about. But then health coaching came first. And so when I read about that, I thought, wow, that's exactly, with all the knowledge I have that I've been accumulating, through my massage therapy practice, but also through my 7 years of, trying to help my son and just being interested in all the health, mind, body, and neuroplasticity. The health coaching was a perfect fit for me. So that's how I started to do that.
Nice. So what is your role as a coach? How do you work your assessments, and when you meet with a client, what does it look like?
Yeah, so my role really as a coach, I feel a very unique and specialized role in healthcare. So my job is not to diagnose, treat, analyze, or prescribe. That's left for the doctors and the professionals, right? So instead, I work closely with my clients, and sometimes it might be in collaboration with their primary healthcare practitioner. And then I help them clarify their health goals and create action steps to achieve their goals. So what I do is facilitate permanent mind shifts and behavior change for my clients so they can master healthy habits and that serve them for life. So you can think of me as a master of habit change, right? So I help my client break negative behaviors so they can replace them with healthy ones for the long run. So I don't know if you know much about habits, but when you when we do things in life,
I have none.
You have none. So yeah, so when I work with my client to make those healthy behaviors become automated habits, like a reflex that happens without even thinking about it, right? So it would be just, you wake up in the morning and then you eat breakfast, you brush your teeth. You don't think about it, it just happens, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what we want to create for the healthy habits for them, right? It becomes what they do. They don't even have to think about it. And when it's at that point, then it happens, right?
Excellent. So is there any particular area you specialize in, or is it more of a broad scope? Let's assess the situation, and then just narrow it down and find out what's needed?
Yeah, so right now, actually, I specialize, or my interest is really working with women who are struggling with like brain fog, fatigue, stress, and excess weight. And I help them like regain their vitality and find some, way to deal with stress, and so they can live the vibrant life that they want. And some of my clients are also experiencing thyroid issue, and so that's also one of my main interests, because I don't know if you know much about the thyroid, but there is more and more people dealing with thyroid issue, and not all of those people are diagnosed with a thyroid issue, because when you go to the regular doctor, they will test like two hormones, but then you end up, and sometimes they say, oh, you're just on the edge, right, and you're fine. So but then the person goes back home and they still not feel great. They just feel like not themselves, and they might be losing their hair, or they're waiting the gain they're gaining the weight,
Mhm.
and then they're really tired, so they don't know what to do. And often, like, if you go see a functional doctor or even a naturopath, they will do like the more extended testing, and then they can tell you that you have a thyroid issue and how to deal with that. And you can do a lot with lifestyle adjustment, like with diet, gentle exercise, and looking at toxicity, like all that stuff. You can help so much the thyroid gland to function optimally. And why is it important? Because the thyroid like is responsible for so much of our metabolism in the body. So that's why it's important.
Interesting. So would you say you had like if you were to have an ideal client, who would that be?
Yeah, so it would be women that are struggling with, like I said,
Yes.
brain fog, fatigue, stress, excess weight.
And what's the best way to connect with you? I know you've got a Facebook group, which I'll post on here so people can see. And that's more of, I would imagine, sort of a support group that's private to your clients. Is that how that's structured?
Yeah, well, the group I have now, it's a little bit more general. I created it actually during the pandemic.
Mhm.
I wanted to have a safe space for people to connect. So I called it Connecting at a Distance. And it was tips for physical and mental, to increase your physical and mental health during the pandemic. So yeah, I created this group for that. But I also have a Facebook page. So I don't have a specific website yet, but I use my the one at clinic. There's a little bit of an introduction, but that's probably not the best place to reach me. It's probably the Facebook and my email address.
Okay, well, I'll post all of that on here too so people can find you. So, what
Okay.
are some empowering stories that you can share? You've got some experience now behind you, and what are some success stories from your clients?
So some of the empowering stories that I have. Let me see. I have written them down somewhere. Um, Yeah, so these are from my clients. Like usually at the end of a 12, like I offer a 90-day program.
Okay.
And at the end of the program, I always ask them what was their empowering lessons from the coaching. So one of my clients says, big mind shift since the beginning of the program and the way I interact at work and in life. I have more choice available in my response, and that has decreased my stress tremendously. So this person had probably stress 12 out of 10 when I started working with her. And by the end of the program, her stress level was at 4. So that was what she got from the treatment, from the coaching. Another person, I love myself because I'm doing all this great stuff for my health. And I know that I'm learning and gaining. What I'm learning and gaining is affecting the rest of my life positively, because I created those healthy habits that become part of who I am. So that's another one. And then another one of my clients says, I experienced deep growth and change, and I want to contribute to continue unraveling of discovering my true self. So these are just a few of my clients' empowering lessons from the treatment.
So that's pretty significant and powerful change that they experienced during the time that they work with you.
Yes, because the program, like it's really sometimes it's really hard to explain, but when you get like a coaching session, it's way more than the physical, right? So we're working the physical, the mental, and also sometimes the spiritual, right? So it's all kind of put together really nicely.
Yeah.
So it's not just about losing the weight or, so at the end they say, wow, that's way more than what I expected from the coaching. So again, it's not just, I don't just tell them what to do. We also work sometimes on old belief system, right? Like, so some limiting beliefs that they have, and that's why they can't progress, right? So when we work on that, they're able to finally break through and come out on the other side like a different person or a better version of themselves.
Wow. And so do your coaching sessions typically start as a 90-day program and then people can progress from there if need be, or how do you structure that?
So I have three offers. So I have a 90-day program. It's a one-on-one, 12 weeks, like weekly sessions. So I have that program, and I also have like now I have a 6-week group program, which is called Nourish and Revive, and this is about again like building a good nutrition foundation and also lifestyle habits. So that's a group program that I offer. But also, like when people can't join the group, just as an example, I started a group last week, and someone decided to join after that. She wanted to do it, but she wanted to do it on her own.
Mm-hmm.
So I started her Monday on her own. So she's doing it on her own. We're doing the 6-week part of the Nourish and Revive. So I do the 6 weeks, and then I also have a one-time session for people that want to start increasing their health, and then we look at how to eat for energy in this one, and then we looked at finding out what your stress is in your life and how to some strategies to decrease the stress, and then we look also at digestive health, and so why it's important and what to do about it. So that's what we do in the one session together.
Wow. So there's lots of flexibility. It sounds like there's options if people want to continue in a different way with you, they can. There's lots of one-on-one with you, lots of accountability, and also group support. So it sounds like a really great program.
Yes, it is great. I mean, of course, I'm going to say that, but just from what I heard also from my clients, right, and what the benefits they have from it.
I think it's always such a treat in life when you either know or you stumble upon what you're meant to be doing, and you can see the way you speak about it and your confidence and the way you light up that you're definitely on the right path. So I'm sure that anyone who is in your capable hands is very fortunate to have you. So
Well, thank you.
you're welcome. So what I'll do is I'll make sure that your website is posted on here so people can find you, and and they can inquire with you directly further as to how the program would work for them.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome. It was
Thanks
great.
for having me.
Pardon me?
Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Yes, it was great having you, and hopefully we can connect in person at some point.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, now that things are lightening up, it's great. We can actually see human beings again in the third dimension.
Exactly. I think that's big right now, right? Like to be able to see a few more people in our circle of influence, right? It's great.
Yeah, it sure is. Excellent. Well, thanks again, Linda. Very nice to have met you. And have a great day.
Nice to meet you, and we'll talk soon.
You bet.